Okay. Hi guys. Let me do a bit of assessment here. How many of you guys are students? Actually, parang lahat kayo students. How about fresh graduates? Wala pang graduate. Okay, so maganda yan kasi students, basically for students talaga yung sasabihin ko. So to you guys, the dreaded board exam is miles away. Thesis muna yung iisipin ko. After thesis, gagraduate pa ako, magtatrabaho pa ako, may review center pa ako. Hindi ko muna iisipin yung exam na yan. And to us, the word exam, it kind of has this negative ring to it, right? Diba? Kasi you are gonna be tested for something that they think you should know. And it's only gonna measure a small part of what is a big catalog, that is your brain. So ito na, here comes the fear of not knowing anything on that exam, not being prepared at all, and ultimately, the fear of failing. Takot ba kayo bumagsak sa board exam? Siyempre, di ba? Kasi no exam, no lisensya eh. So, what I can say about that is, just don't think about it. Don't think about the word exam. Because the real thing that you should be preparing for is the start of your profession. You have to deserve that license once you get it. And you have to deserve that title once you get called an architect. Architect. Deserve mo na ba? Tingin mo, tawagin kita architect ngayon. Deserve mo na? Pwede na magka-lisensya to eh. But anyway, kidding aside, ayun nga sabi ko, no exam, no lisensya. So parang, pag hindi mo siya inisip, parang problem solved. Pero yun nga, ang kailangan mong isipin kasi yung preparation mo. So, how do you prepare for that exam? Lahat naman tayo, we are given 5 years to go through college, and that is at a minimum. Also, the 2 years of training after that, it's 2 years minimum. And then, when you think about the time frame, parang pantay-pantay lang tayo dun, di ba? And, pantay-pantay lang tayo dun, di ba? So, ang nangyayari, how do I use those years smart? How do I be smart about it? How do I get as much experience as I can in those 5 plus 2 years? Ako, before I graduated, I made it a point to get an internship in a firm with a big name. So, ayun kasi yung ginagawa ng mga di ba, young aspiring architects. Kailangan ko makapasok sa big firm. Yan. So, yeah, I got into Leandro Locsin Partners, and what I can say about them is that I found out what it was like to work in a firm with a big name. I got to find out what was common with the people there, the people who worked there. I got to find out what their design process was. I got to follow it. And I can tell you that the names of the people that I worked with there were great conversation starters in interviews and in meetings. So ngayon pa lang, get involved with names. But the best thing that I got from Locsin was not just the name. It was more of me realizing that I knew so very little. During the first days of my work there, yung architect na boss ko, tinanong ako, sabi niya, who's your favorite architect? And it was a fairly simple question. A simple question that I did not have an answer to. Tapos syempre, gumanti na rin ako sa mga intern ko ngayon. Tinatanong ko na rin sila. Kunyari, nagka-CAD sila, sobrang seryoso nila. Tapos sisingit ako ng gano'n, who's your favorite architect? Tapos minsan, hindi sila nakakasagot. Pero yung mga nakakasagot, tatagunin ko ng why. Tapos kailangan disappointed pa yung mukha ko na parang, si Calatrava na naman yung favorite mo. Wala ka bang ibang naisip? Parang gano'n. But syempre, it's a joke. Ang gusto ko lang gawin sa kanila is to train them para hindi mangyari yung nangyari sa akin, hindi mangyari sa kanila. Na parang, I didn't have a spine. I didn't have this opinion that I could at least answer, sino yung favorite architect mo? Ganon. Tapos meron pa akong isang ginawa sa intern din. Tinanong ko siya, kung si Bobby Manyosa, yung mga gawa niya mukhang bahay kubo. Tapos si Leandro Locsin, yung mga gawa niya mukhang box. Masasabi mo ba na yung gawa ni Leandro Locsin is less of a Filipino architecture kesa sa gawa ni Bobby Manyosa? So yun, gusto niyo ba, meron bang gustong sumagot? Do you have an opinion about it? Ikaw, architect. Pero ayun, actually hindi ko na alam kung bakit ko tinanong sa kanya. Kasi personally, I would reflect long and hard on that question, especially because we do not actually have that definition of Filipino style right now. Young pa yung architecture natin sa Philippines. We do not have the Filipino style. So ayun. And going back to what my boss asked me, who's your favorite architect? The idea of me not having that solid foundation of knowledge that I could have at least used to form an opinion, that kind of hit me hard. I kind of felt bobo at that time, and that's where my hunger started. I wanted to know more, I wanted to learn more, I wanted to keep learning every day. So, ayun, build a solid foundation of knowledge. Don't be bobo in architecture. So the next job that I got was for the Department of Transportation. I never really planned it out that way because I never aspired to work for the government. It was not exactly the flashiest thing. It's not exactly the most luxurious thing to work for the government. But what I can say about them is that the opportunities are there. They're really big. The projects are really important, and the names are important as well, but they're big, but just not in the architecture community. Diba, mga ano yun eh, mga secretary, undersecretary, mga ganyan. But the problem was my boss was an engineer. And when during the first days of my work there, he gave us a project that was pretty important. It was an additional building for the NAIA Terminal 1. And being important, we had a lot of meetings, a lot of consultations, and it had a lot of other people getting into that design na hindi naman talaga architect, parang ganun. So, nearing the end of the design, I had to present in front of the board of NAIA. And like I said, nandun yung big names, may mga undersecretaries, may secretaries, general managers, whatever, you name them. And I have to say that it was the worst meeting that I have ever been in my life. Mainly because I wasn't prepared. I was not prepared at all. The questions that they were asking me were not about architecture. The things that they were asking me, it was about budget, phases, paano mo itutuloy yung project na yan, anong sasabihin ng masa sa project na yan. And my solid foundation of knowledge, like I told you, was built on architecture. And at that time, I believed na I was young, I felt like hindi ko pa dapat alam to, di ba? Bago pa lang ako, kaka-umpisa ko pa lang, first job ko to, ganyan. But no, you actually do have to know these things. You have to go beyond your foundation of knowledge, architecture. Kailangan hindi lang yun yung alam mo. So needless to say, palpak yung presentation ko, pero yung project okay naman. It's not in my hands now, with the red tape in our government and stuff, but hindi ko na alam kung anong nangyari. So, personally, I couldn't handle staying there for more than a year and a half, mainly because it was not an architectural firm. And I felt like it was the wrong environment for me at that time. I wasn't learning enough, I wasn't growing enough, and I felt like I really needed to find my mentor na. So what I did was I went out job hunting, and then when I finally got an interview, I told them that, hi, I'm looking for a job, but I'm also looking for a mentor. So yeah. Now, when you guys go out job hunting, don't think about the money right now. Not unless it's absolutely necessary for you. Maybe breadwinner ka ng family mo. Okay, fine, that's your goal. But if your goal is different, don't think about the money right now, because the whole point of you graduating and the training after that is to be rich in experience. And you have to go out and find the firm that will train you in as wide of a scope as they can and not make you do toilet details for 2 years. Kasi wala kang matututunan dun. And sometimes ganun yung nangyayari. That's kind of the hard truth to it. But ask to learn and choose your mentor. So, getting back to to my job in Manyosa. Hold on. The thing about bosses is you also have to build this connection with them. You have to build rapport. And if you guys aren't familiar with rapport, it is a term used a lot in sales, and it is your connection with someone. It is your common ground with them. So what rapport is that it is what makes them trust you so that you can sell something to them. Because after all, we are entrepreneurs. And being an entrepreneur, especially being an architect, you're not just selling your design, you're also selling yourself, diba? So another thing about being an entrepreneur, you have to be extroverted. And this should not be discouraging for introverts, because there's a difference between being an introvert and being introverted. Being an introvert, it's more of like, it's your character, it's your personality. And being introverted, that's more of the act that you chose at that specific moment. So being an introvert, okay, your ideal day could be spent locked up inside your room, reading your favorite book. Pero kung kailangan mo na maging extroverted, lumabas ka na ng kwarto mo. So, yeah, about Manyosa. So I'm gonna explain what it's like to have a mentor that you look up to. So, see a little background about Manyosa though. He is Jose Manyosa. There are 3 Manyosas if you are not familiar. Si Jose, si Bobby, and si Manuel. Collectively, they were the Manyosa brothers, but eventually they split up and pursued their professions individually. So right now, I am working with Jose Manyosa. And I look up to Jose Manyosa like I look up to the other 2 mentors or bosses that I had. And si Manyosa, the thing about him is that you have to talk to him. You have to talk to your mentors. Minsan, randomly, nagko-call up lang siya sa office namin ng tao. Sa tanda niya yun, meron siyang Pinterest. Tapos, ipapakita niya yung iPad niya sa'yo. May nakita daw siya sa Pinterest, ganyan. Okay, CD, what can you say about this design? And you have to answer him truthfully. You can't give him BS. You can't lie to him. You can't just tell him that, okay, that's nice. Yeah, I like it. No, you have to follow through. You have to tell him why you like this design or why you don't like this design. And the thing about him is when you give him BS, he knows when you give him BS. He will walk out if you do that. And if he will walk out even faster if you don't know what you're talking about. So I just want to give a few situations where it happened na he walked out. There was one product presentation that we had, and it was about lightweight concrete panels. So tapos na yung presentation, tapos na yung cost, tapos na yung materials, tapos na yung warranties and stuff. And then he asks, so, does your panel float? And we had a laugh about it because, do concrete panels float? Ganon. And after that, he followed through. After we were laughing about it, he followed through. He said, no, I'm serious. Does your panel float on water? And hindi ko makakalimutan kung paano napawi yung ngiti nung nagpe-present sa mukha niya, nung tinanong siya nun. Kasi akala naming lahat, nagjo-joke lang si Manyosa, pero hindi. And what happened to the presenter was he said, sir, I don't know. And then he walked out immediately. After that presentation, I actually Googled it. Sabi ko, okay, do lightweight concrete panels float on water? And they do. Apparently they do. Maybe it's the testing. I didn't read too much about it. Pero yung gusto ko lang malaman, lumulutang ba yung lightweight concrete panels? So yun nga, they do. And then another product presentation we had was, this time it was the inventor himself who was presenting to us. And the inventor was Swedish, I think. And his invention was a street light solar panel. Alam ko marami ng street light solar panel, but apparently his is different. So the street lights were designed like this. The light is at an angle, and then you have solar panels integrated at the back of it. So while the presentation was going on, nagtanong na naman si Manyosa. Ang sabi niya, okay, so what happens if your streetlight solar panel does not face south? And the thing about solar panels, diba, they have to face south for them to be completely efficient. And the situation that he gave was, what if we have a winding road like this? And then your solar panel here is facing south. So if you have a winding road, and ultimately your street light will be will follow the turn of your road. And then this in turn, this one will be facing south, and then the other one here will be facing west. Because it has to change direction, it has to follow your road. So ang nangyari, nung tinanong ni Manyosa yung inventor nun, I don't know why, but parang I don't think he understood the question of the inventor. Because he was even asking us, oh really? South is the best orientation for solar panels? And before he could even explain anything else, Manyosa again walked out. And it was awkward for us because we had to sit through the entire presentation. And, well, ano bang feeling na parang may nagpa-present sa'yo, tapos alam mo namang mali yung ginawa niya. But we kind of knew that the solar panels weren't gonna work. Or if at least man lang kung alam ng inventor yung problem na yun, what kind of solution does he have for us? So yeah, we had to sit through it, and it was really awkward. So okay, I don't think I will be leaving that firm anytime soon. Hindi ko iiwan si Manyosa anytime soon dahil ang ganda ng mga product presentation, nakakatuwa. So especially after I passed my board exams, ang sabi nila kapag top-notch ka daw, maraming opportunities out there, a lot of better opportunities. I worked for them even before I passed the exam. Pero sa totoo lang, hindi ko rin naman alam kung maraming better opportunities out there because I had a best friend who topped the exam before I did. Top-notcher din siya. And what she said is that employers would actually still prefer those who are more experienced. And totoo naman eh, lahat ng mga kami pare-parehong bagong arkitekto lang. The only advantage that we had was we did a little bit better than others in that exam. And yung exam lang na yun. So I don't mean to devalue that achievement. It's just that I'm saying it as it is. It's still just an exam. And I met with the top notchers before, a few weeks back. Pinatawag kami ng PR BOA. Sila yung gumagawa ng exam, yung PR BOA. Pinatawag nila kami because they wanted to know which parts of the exam kami nahirapan. And so the exam is like this. It's 3 parts. The first one is history, theory, laws, and stuff. Gusto mo ng papel para masulat mo? History, theory, and laws. And then part 2 is building utilities, building technology, building methodologies. And then part 3 is architectural design and site planning. So these 3 parts, you have to take them in 2 days. So okay, ang sagot namin sa PR BOA, pinaka nahirapan kami sa part 1. And that is because ayun lang yung kailangan mong aralin. Sobrang dami nung part 1, and it's 100 items. Try mo kabisuduhin lahat ng building sa Pilipinas. Sa Pilipinas lang Tapos kabisuduhin mo yung mga architect nila. Hindi mo pa alam kung ano din yung lalabas. Hindi mo alam kung isa okay lang. Hindi mo na kailangan mag-aaral. Pero kung 10 yung lumabas doon, 10 points is 10 points, and that's 100 points. You will never know what they will ask you. And then part 2, again, the building materials and methodologies, ito yung natututunan ninyo sa site. Ito yung natututunan ninyo sa experience ninyo. And ang sabi sa amin ng BOA, hindi nyo kailangan reviewin to. The whole point of that exam is to test how much you have learned in those 2 years internship, yung experience ninyo. Yun pa lang, masasagutan nyo na yung exam. Papasa kayo for sure. Seryosohin nyo lang yung 2 years. And then part 3 is the architectural design and site planning. Ito more of how you respond to situations as an architect. It's more about computing. So yeah, okay, aaralin mo to, pero you have to practice this more than just review it. And then there's also, actually more of this is common sense. Like, what kind of floor will you use for a warehouse like this? What kind of paint will you use for wood? What kind of paint will you use? Can you use the same paint on wood and on concrete? Mga ganun tanong. And you have to be familiar with that. So minsan nahahalo yan sa part 1, minsan nahahalo sa part 2. So it's kind of you're kind of looking at different targets at one time kapag sumasagot ka ng exam. So yeah, the next thing that they told us dun sa meeting na yun was that for us to stay humble, to stay grounded, and to not let getting a place in the exam get in our heads. And to me, yung mga kasama ko sa room na yun, yung mga other top-notchers, I don't think that they need to hear that because really, those people, I am surrounded by people who are talking about their advocacies, who are talking about their goals in life, talking about bringing architecture to the masses. And it was all so noble, and I just felt like these are the kind of people that I want to surround myself with. They really, really deserve that place in the exam because I feel like they're really bright, but the thing that shines most about them is their humility. There was even one guy who was so happy that he placed in the exam because he said that he will be listened to now. He will finally be heard. And I don't think it's because of the bragging rights. I think it's because he really has something to say. So really, when you get all these things together, when you find your mentor, build your foundation of knowledge, you get your values straight, and you get all that experience that you can, use it as smart as you can, you will value yourself every day, and you will inspire yourself every single day. And that, I think, will prepare you to become an architect that has character. I would like to end on that note. Thank you for your attention, and I hope I helped you out.